Hi everyone, welcome to this general reading. This is going to be a goddess circle spread, which is a snapshot of this moment in life and what you offer to the world. In order to start out, I have done a pre-shuffle, picked out a card from the Tarot of the Divine, which is inspired by deities, folklores, and fairy tales from around the world. Personally, I love using fairy tales and myths as tools for personal growth. And so though I don't use this deck a lot, I find its personality, at least this particular deck's personality, a little bit challenging to work with. I do love the symbolism. So the card that I've chosen is the Nine of Coins, and the myth that this represents is a Vietnamese legend, the legend of watermelon. There was a orphan found in the water, brought to the castle, the king's castle, and the orphan was adopted by the king and took basically the top place in his heart over his other biological children. One of the sons got jealous, conspired until this orphan was banished, and he got stuck on an island with his wife, a princess, and they just had a very difficult life. And then somehow managed, some birds brought some watermelon seeds. He grew, put in the effort to grow watermelon, waited for the harvest, enjoyed the harvest. I think that's an important part of the story. And then carved his name on a watermelon, put it into the ocean. It made its way to the king, who brought this prince back home, and then the prince became a king. Quite an interesting legend, and I'm definitely curious to see how it plays out. Definitely some themes of feeling out of place, jealousy, and then of course typical Nine of Coins themes of independence, and then success. Interestingly, in this legend, the prince does have a princess, so it's not entirely independent, and they do support each other. And they're gone, I think, for 7 years on this island. Definitely, if that resonated with you, stick around for the reading, because this is for you. But then afterwards, go ahead and look up the Vietnamese legend of the watermelon, because I certainly did not do it justice. All right, can we get a goddess circle for our watermelon king, please? Can we get a goddess circle for our watermelon king? That's what I'm calling you. That's what you're being called today. It's a general reading, not sign specific. This is for people who resonate with being called a watermelon king, male or female, it does not matter. The gifts and talents you offer the world, the sun. Interesting. Your vitality, your enthusiasm, your joy, and your light. That's what you offer the world. Love it. Ways that you can support your gift. Judgment. Judgment can be about rebirth and renewal, decisiveness and discernment. I am going to go around and clarify. That's just interesting. Ways you can support your gift. I think this is speaking to not being rigid, allowing for change, and that's definitely something that we see in this myth. When the prince was accused of trying to conspire against the king, which he did not do, he didn't despair. He made the best of his life as he could and adapted. And adapted and adapted again. And he used his discernment. He saw the birds fighting over the watermelon seeds, decided that meant they were good, and then planted them and reaped the rewards. People who surround you, Five of Coins. So you might not feel like you really have anyone who surrounds you right now. You are feeling a little bit isolated, actually. I will say I don't think that's entirely true. I'm not going to dispute that it feels that way, but the myth on this card is the Ice Queen. And this mirror of the Ice Queen presents the world in a negative light. I think I've explained this before, is instead of wearing rose-colored glasses, you're wearing shit-colored glasses. And this little boy, well, the queen breaks the mirror and the dust particles go over the entire world, and this little boy gets a shard in his eye, and so he sees the world through shit-colored glasses. He doesn't see the world for what it is. So I totally respect that you feel isolated, but open to the possibility that that might not be, that could be a perception, not a reality. Ways others encourage and support you. Four of Swords. You're not allowing others to support you. You have retreated into solitude. You're saying right now that you need time to rest and recuperate. Definitely not really getting that you're embracing your gift. Opportunities of the moment. Four of Coins. I am not always good with Roman numerals. And also I was like, opportunities, Four of Coins, really? Yes, okay, let's think about this. Let's tap in. Four of Coins, yes, is about possessiveness, holding on too tightly. And it can be about seeking control. But it's also about finding security. And then this myth is Rapunzel. So she's built herself up in a tower. She's definitely isolated, in solitude. The opportunity of the moment, I think, is to build yourself a door out of this tower. There's nothing wrong with seeking security or even seeking worldly success. But if it means that you get trapped, then that's a problem. So the opportunity is to build a door out of this. So the Watermelon King that I'm looking at right now, might have just been banished from the kingdom. In the story, they don't really show the prince experiencing the betrayal, but you know, that must have been really intense. A father figure, someone he loved and admired, who loved and admired him, listened to the rumors around him and banished him. So no doubt there was feelings of being left out in the cold, and in this myth you could say that the rumors were the equivalent of the glass, skewing everyone's perceptions. So in this particular myth, we're definitely in the middle. Your hopes and concerns of the moment. Page of Cups. You're hoping for love and affection and communication. You don't want to be isolated. You don't want this. My ring light just went off, so sorry about that. I don't know why, but it's fine. It's daylight outside. It might be feeling, this is something that my therapist tells me all the time. I know it feels like this is never going to end, but I promise you it will. You might be feeling like this is never going to end, but I promise you that it will. And just the fact that Page of Cups is showing up in your hopes shows me that it will end. Your higher purpose in the world is the High Priestess. This also showed up under the Phoenixes reading, which is the reading I did on Monday. I don't think I explained to you, since March has a 5th week, this week I'm doing these mythology readings. Your higher purpose in the world. The High Priestess. With the Phoenix reading, it was very, very clear. And then this one, it's a little less clear. And I think that's because we're seeing a lot of Dark Night of the Soul, regrouping, seeking control. That's causing a lot of pain, and I think that's at odds with your higher purpose, which is to trust your intuition. So this is a weird and violent example. In the Dune saga, if you don't want any spoilers, like fast forward 30 seconds or a minute. In the Dune saga, the main character, I think his name is Paul, and this is like the 2nd or the 3rd book. His enemies, I don't remember exactly how it happens, but he ends up blind. And the way that, and it doesn't stop him because he has psychic gifts, intuitive gifts, so strong that he's able to see in other ways besides his eyes. He doesn't need his eyes to see where he's going. In your case, Watermelon King, you don't, in this myth of the Ice Queen, the little boy, his little girlfriend comes and finds him, and she cries, and her tears wash the shard out of his eyes, and he's able to see clearly again. You don't need somebody else to clear your vision. You have that power yourself. No, we are going to come through and clarify all of this. But that's what I'm getting so far. And yeah, definitely feeling that you are disconnected from the sun, which is the gift that you offer the world. And with this card here, it's buried so deeply. Like, I feel like you're not even watching this. Like the second you saw that, you probably turned this off. Guidance for the near future. 8 of Swords. Definitely gonna need to clarify that. How is 8 of Swords guidance? And then 7 of Swords is at the bottom of the deck. So I think this is both of these cards, the 7 of Swords and the 8 of Swords, are both speaking to this and telling you that there's a lot of swords here, and swords represent intellect, knowledge, intelligence. And there's a part of you that's telling you that you're not trapped, you're not paralyzed, you're not helpless. And in the larger picture, that's definitely true. But over here, in the moment, which the goddess circle is a snapshot of the moment, it is true. So this is definitely a difficult reading of somebody who's avoiding their gifts, avoiding the support of other people, holding on to the past as opposed to seizing the opportunities of the moment. Okay, let's see what we can clarify. Watermelon Kings. You might feel betrayed, and that might be what has you in all of this swords energy. I don't know who betrayed you or why, if it was on purpose or malicious or anything like that. But something has you not tapping into your intuition. Let's see. We're going to see what else we can get. Okay, the sun is here. That's your gifts and your talents. I promise you, if you're here, that's your gift and your talent. Page of Pentacles. And Queen of Wands. 6 of Pentacles. It's these qualities that you possess and your ability to translate them into the real world. You're able to take the happiness of the sun, the passion and the charisma of the Queen of Wands, and you're able to bring them into the real world and uplevel your life and those around you. And at your best, when you are embracing your talents and gifts, you have such a generosity of spirit, and you're also able to receive. Underneath that, we have the 4 of Swords showing up again, but this time on this little lamb, you can see the sun in the 3rd eye of the lamb. So part of you, a deep part, that 3rd eye, intuitive knowing part of yourself, knows that these are your gifts, these are your talents to bring happiness and sincerity And maybe even like a male or female, a protective, maternal energy, very protective of those around you. And that might not feel like a gift, but then think about the ripple effect. You don't have to change the whole world to change the whole world. You can affect one person who goes on to affect another person, and then, right, it ripples out. All right, ways that you can support your gifts. We have judgment. Why is judgment here for the Watermelon King? Discernment. You need to tap into your discernment at the deepest level in order to see past this mirror. We have 2 of Cups, allowing for partnerships, and 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands is about communication, fast communication. 2 of Cups is about partnerships. Let's see, one more. 2 of, that did not help. 2 of Swords and decision. Judgment is about being decisive. And you're showing indecisiveness. You're showing intense resistance to all of the ways that you can support your gifts. You're showing resistance to being decisive. You're showing resistance to partnership. You are in, what's the word? You're in solitude on purpose, stuck in your own tower on purpose, and that's not conducive to communication. So I think the ways that you can support your gifts is to stop resisting the good things in your life. This unexpected reading, but it is just a snapshot, this moment in time. People who surround you. 5 of Coins is clarified by the star. Like I said, you might perceive this to be true, but I don't believe that it is. And with the star showing up, I think I was right on the money. Ace of Swords. Truth. Justice at the bottom, with the sword showing up. Okay, you see that? And then the World showing up at the bottom. There are people around you but if you keep pushing them away, eventually you'll be left alone. And that's the truth. But you have control over that. It doesn't have to be that way. And the opposite is true. If you bring people close, kind of feel like that's part of your gifts and talents that you offer the world, they'll come close. Cause and effect. All right, ways others encourage and support you. We have you not accepting that. We have the Four of Swords. Why is the Four of Swords here? I think this is going to be a longer reading than the Phoenix's reading, but that's because this one is much more difficult. That was the tower that tried to pop out. Try not to... Well, I don't take flyers. Sometimes I'll notice what they are. But if it wants to be in the reading, it will be in the reading. We have Two of Swords showing up again. It was upside down. I don't read reversals, but I noticed them. So that indecision again. And then the Devil at the bottom is all of the ways that people want to encourage and support you with the Ace of Cups. But it's like you don't want their help. But you do. But you don't. But you do. But you don't. And I think that's why we have Eight of Swords in your guidance. That thought loop, it seems like it's movement because the thoughts are moving so quickly. But the truth of the matter is that it's paralysis. I just hope that it's helpful for you to know that people want to give you love and support and encouragement. You have people around you that you don't see, but they are there and they want to help you. Opportunities of the moment is the Four of Coins. Why is the Four of Coins here? Four of Wands, Six of Wands, then with Five of Wands showing up at the bottom. So kind of putting aside perhaps traditional meanings of the Four of Coins and going with the fairy tale. Rapunzel is in the tower, and she too has her evil witch character. The Ice Queen is an evil witch. Then there's the evil witch in Rapunzel. Whatever that devil is. But Rapunzel finds a way to let her prince up. And then with the Six of Wands, again, putting aside the traditional meaning and going with the imagery, you have the opportunity to rise above all of these limiting beliefs and to transform. And it could be that you're doing this without your awareness, just like this character trusted his intuition, put the watermelon with his name into the ocean, and it got to where it needed to go. Opportunity of the moment is to to trust. The opportunity of the moment is to trust your intuition, even if things don't make any sense, but you feel called to do it anyways. The other day I was at Walmart buying a new bathroom scale, and I had no idea where they were. I vaguely imagined they might be in the bathroom area, so I walked by the towels, and for some reason the air mattresses caught my attention. And I was like, oh, I should go look at those air mattresses. And I shut myself down. I was like, oh, stop being stupid. Like, there's no reason to check out the air mattresses. Let's go check out the plumbing section. That's another bathroom area. So then I go back over there. They're not over there. Finally, I open up the app on my phone, look for scales, find the aisle, and yes, the bathroom scales were right by the inflatable mattresses, and I couldn't see it from the aisle where I was, but once I got to the inflatable mattress section, I would have seen it. That's an example of trusting your intuition, not knowing why it's going to pay off, and then it does. And then in the myth that we pulled for you, the Vietnamese legend of the watermelon, that's another example of just doing something several times, right? Growing the watermelon, cultivating the watermelon, even eating the watermelon, sending the watermelon. Like, objectively, none of those things really make sense. The seed thing, I guess, kind of makes sense, but in any case, the opportunity of the moment is to rise above. And you're going to do that by trusting your intuition. Okay, we have the Page of Cups in your hopes and fears of the moment. Why is the Page of Cups here? And this deck gets called Chalices. We have the Four of Wands clarifying your opportunity of the moment, which is a card of commitment and celebration. Could be romantic. And then we have romantic offers via the Page of Cups showing up in a potential fear. We get Temperance clarifying that. And then Four of Pentacles showing up again. And then the Emperor at the bottom of the deck. You're trying to find balance. In some ways, you're aware of everything that's going on, and in other ways, you're not. You're overthinking things. And so you're not sure what balance is or means or looks like. Is giving Cups and Pentacles equal attention? Is that balance? And it's hard to find balance. The Emperor is stable, yes, but he's also very rigid. And when you think of a scale, that's funny that I was talking about scales, but balancing the scales, like oftentimes they'll move a little bit before they find center. And it's like you're afraid of losing control. Four of Pentacles is about seeking control. And you don't trust yourself. You're afraid that if you let go of control, things will fall apart, and they're not feeling great already, and you just can't imagine them getting worse, so you're trying to hold on. But it's by releasing control that you get out of paralysis and you're able to get back to your gifts. Why is the High Priestess here? This is your higher purpose in the world. Why is the High Priestess here? Page of Cups. That gives this Page of Cups a totally different vibe. No. That's your hopes and your fears, and it's showing up clarifying your higher purpose. You're afraid to embrace your higher purpose. And then 5 of Wands. I think this is just showing you're afraid to embrace your higher purpose. 8 of Cups. What is that saying? Bravery is not the absence of fear. Bravery is having fear and acting anyways. Why is the 8 of Swords here? Nine of Pentacles. 6 of Swords. Judgment showing up again. Nine of Coins is the card that we pulled as your myth. So I think part of the guidance is, if this resonated with you, definitely look up this myth. Find what resonates with you. Do a little analysis of it using your discernment. There are things there that if this resonated with you, you'll be able to spot. It'll speak to you in a way that it didn't speak to me. And then moving on to calmer waters. Requires decisiveness, right? To get into the boat. Where are you going to go? All of those things that happen when you take a journey. Okay. We're going to pull one final card. Kind of advice from the universe. This is the True Love Oracle. What advice do you have for these watermelon kings in hiding? What advice do you have for these watermelon kings? Can I get some advice, please? Maturity. This is the same card that the Phoenix has pulled, interestingly enough. I'm sure it will resonate in different ways. Come on. Oh, I'm just looking at page numbers. Wrong thing. An emotionally mature person knows that they are responsible for their own happiness. It's not really what I get from looking at this card. When I look at this card, I get somebody trusting their intuition. I kind of see like channeled writing, tapping into the higher self, the wisdom of the higher self, the maturity of the higher self. Let's see. If you genuinely wish to attract an emotionally mature partner or want to improve the level of emotional maturity in your relationships, then you must be willing to look at yourself first. No matter who you are, your childhood, other experiences, and young adulthood and past lifetimes will have influenced you to believe that certain areas of your well-being are someone else's responsibility. That's not true. The sooner you are prepared to take responsibility for your own happiness, the sooner a loving partner will become available to multiply that happiness. You could replace loving partner with the gifts that you offer the world. If you're not looking for a love reading, But I think that does tie into what I was saying, is that you don't need someone to release you from this obscured vision. You have the power to do that yourself. That was a tough reading, and I hope that if you watched to the end that you gleaned some nuggets of guidance. In any case, I have one more myth goddess circle reading coming on Friday, and then in April we'll be doing the regular sign based readings. So I hope to see you again soon.